part of the movie. She's like, learn a word that's really good. Guys like important words. So she goes sporadically, and the guy goes, it means like at different times, like I mean, like different, I know what's going on, like different times. I hope not like on occasion or whatever.
Uh-huh.
I goes, I'll see you later. She goes, I hope not sporadically.
Chris Scopo coming from space. Welcome to the show, man. Thanks for making the time to come on. I appreciate it.
No problem. I'm doing good. I'm doing a day fast, so I'm just drinking water, and I'm not happy about it.
You're doing
Like
a day fast?
I don't know. I saw Dana White do something, and I was like, let me try this shit.
I see that's the
I'm a
thing.
sucker. I'm a
Every time
sucker
I
for
see
YouTube
celebrities
clips.
doing shit like that, though, I always have to like think again, like, yeah, but he also has like fucking a staff of medical people on his team that are like they're the best doctors in the world. You know what I mean? Giving him this information. So it's like I could try to replicate it, but I'm still not going to get the same results that Dana White is getting.
I mean, I guess so, but I don't know. Let's try. I gotta lose like 5 pounds. I lose 5 pounds in a day.
Why you gotta lose 5 pounds?
I fluctuate with weight like I'm a
Uh,
fucking divorced mom too. I really do. I'll eat a cheeseburger and then gain 12 pounds.
oh fuck.
So I'll have one time I'll have abs, then I'll come back in like 2 weeks and I'll not have abs. It's like brutal.
Uh, yeah, if you have abs and then you lose abs, that feeling has to suck. I
Dude,
understand.
having abs is the best. I don't care
Yeah.
what anybody says. Having abs is dope, dude. It's such a fucking amazing feeling to look in the mirror and be like, I have abs. This is cool.
Yeah, it's just a little confidence raiser every now and then. It's like getting a nice suit. You're like, oh
Yeah,
yeah, I look
it also adds a couple inches to your piece, so it's like nice.
true, true.
Like, oh, nice. I can go to a 3 to a 4. What a time.
Chris, for people that are listening or watching that don't know who you are, what's the backstory on Chris Scopo? How'd you get into comedy? Like, I know you're from Queens.
How to get to comedy? I don't want a job.
I didn't want a job. That's the best way to get into
I'm
comedy.
a millennial. I don't want to work. What's wrong with you? Spend hours in an office talking to people I can't stand? No.
Yeah.
I didn't want a job. And I was like, I don't know. I was funny in college. I was like, let me try this. And then you realize, oh, this is not easy.
Hmm.
Probably work harder than most people. I edit more. I'm up later more than most people. I mean, of course, I'm not getting shot at like from a cop, so that's a little different. But I really didn't want to have a job. I hate working. I hate being. During high school, I hated like being sequestered in a room,
Hmm.
asked to go to the bathroom and shit like that. I hated that. So I was like, I don't want to do that in my life. I don't want to wake up 50 years from now and be like, this, my life's over. It's terrible. So I was like, let me just try this stuff. And you kind of like it. It's kind of fun to do. So
What
I
was it
felt
like though, starting comedy like in a city like New York? Like New
miserable,
York. I
miserable.
mean it's gotta be, right? Like you're just surrounded by absolute like that is the
But you
mecca
think you're,
of comedy,
but
whether
you
people want to
know,
say Texas or LA. I think it's New York is
get out of
where
here. Joe Rogan moved down there. Get out of here. Out of your mind. I mean, yeah, there's good comics down there, but let's come on.
sure.
But you don't know what you're getting. You don't know what you're in though. Put it that way.
Okay,
You
that
don't
makes sense.
know that you're there. You don't. I mean, for the first 3 years, you're not going up and following, you know, Sherrod Small or someone that's really. Hold on, sorry about that. Oh no, what I do. Sorry. You know, you're not really following anybody that you think is like that. That's good.
Yeah.
But after a certain amount of time, then you do. You're like, oh shit, you don't really know what's going on, basically. So you don't really know. You just like doing mics or something like that. And you're barking for shows. And these kids now they'll have it easy with barking. They bark and they make money. I
That's
never made money.
crazy. I
I
got a spot. That's it.
I was a spot and that was it. And I was lucky to get a spot, a 7 minute spot that I
Yeah.
bombed at. So yeah, and these kids make like $200 for barking. I'm like, this is insane.
I always try to gamify shit like that because it's such a miserable thing trying to yell at strangers to come into a comedy show when they're just walking on the street, especially like downtown Toronto. It's fucking freezing. I'm just trying to get these people to come in. I always try to gamify in a sense of being like, well, at least I'm working on like my crowd work skills like
You're not.
prematurely, but it's
Yeah,
not
yeah.
really,
You
right? You
say
just
that, but you're
convince
not.
yourself.
It made me hate people. It made me
Yeah,
hate
true.
people. And it made me like when they'd be like, "I'm funny," I'm like, "Oh, I hate your life.
Yeah.
You're a shitty person. Like you don't even. I just walk away. Just don't even say anything. Like no, thank you, walk away." But
Yeah, I'd
also,
rather you just ignore me.
I probably would do that too if I was not a comic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you had never pursued it. But that's interesting. Like a lot of people have this like moment where they're like choose to do comedy or go on stage and do comedy, but it's similar to my experience too. I just didn't want a regular job. So picking comedy was easy because it was seemingly an easy thing to do, right? You're just getting on stage and telling jokes. And then you realize it's harder once you actually start with it. But is that what you experienced? It wasn't like a real moment where you're like, there's two pathways in front of you. I either do the 9 to 5 and whatever, or I just do comedy.
Buddy, I'm always 2 weeks away from quitting.
What are you going to do instead? And once you quit comedy, what are you going to
I
do?
I would
Construction?
probably just join a UPS company and
Yeah.
then
Hey, they're making
first of all,
700K a year.
yeah, I know. I'd move the hell out of New York. It's too cold here. Rent's too expensive. I'd move to like Florida,
Mm.
maybe do CrossFit, get into good shape, find a
Get
wife
a
with
boat.
get a boat. Get a boat. That's amazing. Yeah. Work for UPS. But I go down there and I'm like, these people are weird. So I don't know.
Yeah. They're all sunburnt. Fucking.
Yeah, I'm like, look at these leather bound people.
They got
Honestly,
season passes to Disneyland and they're adults with no kids.
y'all are like crocodiles. It's like
Yeah.
ridiculous. Yeah. So then I say that, and then I'm like, what do I do in my life? So
Yeah. We all have that like fantasy of what we would do, all the stuff we would do if we weren't doing comedy. But then you really think about it, you're like, I don't want to do that either.
yeah, I guess so. Also, I kind of envy people that just walk away, like
Mm.
they're just in the mob and they got out. They got out.
Yeah.
You got out, buddy. Good for
Oh
you.
man, you don't have to post
When they
clips
got out,
anymore.
you meet someone that got out. You're like, good for you, buddy. Way to go. Way to get out of this system.
Yeah.
Uh,
All those hours you wasted on captions.
yeah, I can edit really well. That's about it. That's
Yeah,
pretty.
that's the one thing too. I never a side effect of comedy that I never saw coming was that I would get infinitely better at video editing.
Yeah, thank you, Andrew Schultz. I need
Yeah,
that.
yeah, right.
Piece of shit. No one knows.
Added another thing for us all to do.
No one knows he had fucking a team of people doing it for him. So it wasn't like he was at the caption desk, and just doing it away.
When those auto AI captions came out, I was like, where was this 2 years ago
No, I
when I
don't do that.
was
I don't do
spending
auto
so
AI.
long? You do manual captions
I do
still?
manual, baby. I go old
Bro,
school because I
that's
want to make it
old
better.
school.
It doesn't hit as hard. You gotta make them pop.
I
You gotta
guess it
stand
helps you
out.
with timing stuff too, right? Because if you just auto caption it, you're like, that's good enough.
Yeah,
But if you want something to pop or you want an image to come in, you need to be doing it word by word.
yeah. That's what I do. I'm more. Listen, my jokes aren't the best, so I gotta make them laugh somehow.
I gotta
So
throw in a picture of Michael Jordan. I gotta.
yeah. If I gotta throw in a weird caption font, I'll do it. I don't care.
What was your one word for this episode too? When I asked you that,
One word. I was thinking about that on the way here. I couldn't think of a word except sporadically.
sporadically is the word.
I don't know why, but it came in. Did you ever see the movie Clueless?
I think so.
You ever
Maybe
seen
a while
Clueless?
ago.
How old are you?
I'm 32.
You should have seen Clueless.
I bet I have, but it's like one of those movies where it's just like I've forgotten it. But what about
Paul
Clueless?
Rudd's in it, and then the part of the movie, she's like, learn a word that's really good. Guys like important words. So she goes sporadically, and the guy goes, it means like at different times, like like I know what's going on like different times. I hope not like on occasion or whatever.
Uh
I goes, I'll see you later. She goes, I hope not sporadically.
huh.
Shout out Brittany Murphy, she's dead. But
She was
yeah,
great. She was an 8 Mile, wasn't she?
she was an 8 Mile. Yeah.
Yeah, she was
All
great
right.
in that.
We know
But
where
yeah,
we know where we do you lie. White guy from Toronto loves Eminem. Grew up with Eminem. You were fucking ripping
uh,
it. You were like, lose yourself in the morning as
no,
you woke
even worse, dude. I grew up in a small town 4 hours from Toronto. So it's like I
up.
moved to Toronto to do comedy, and now I'm in Ottawa now.
You're in Ottawa. Let me tell you why I hate Canadian people. You guys are just out there. Like my old roommate was Alex Pavone. He's a Canadian comic.
I love Alex. Yeah, he's great.
Yeah, I love him, but he's a piece of shit. But he's like So it's like you gotta stand up for yourselves a little more. First off, you gotta get the Queen of England off your money. That's the
Oh,
first
she
thing.
is. We're getting a dude on it now.
Yeah,
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 King,
the
King
king, whatever.
Charles.
You can't be having
No,
another leader on your money. Stop
no,
doing it. I'll never respect Canada until you get your own people on your money. I don't care who you have. Drake, Gretzky,
that'd
I
be
don't care,
sick.
but get some Canadian people on your money.
Yeah. Well, we
That's
do
first.
have like old prime ministers are on our bills,
Okay, well,
but the
I
Queen.
mean, I went to Canada. I take out money from the ATM. Boom! I see a bag of bones on my money, and I'm like, "Who is this bitch?" I go, "Is this the Queen of England?"
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we're a Commonwealth. You gotta stop. You gotta stand up. You gotta get a little confidence in yourself. You gotta get
We're
a little.
like an Italian family, though. We still live with our grandmother, and then our parents still live with their mother.
You gotta move out. All
Yeah,
right.
yeah, yeah.
Not
Quebec's been trying to move
Tommy
out.
DeVito. You're not Tommy DeVito on the Giants. You gotta move
Yeah,
out.
yeah,
Okay, it's over.
yeah. Drake on the nickel would be sick. That's what we should do.
Honestly, Drake and Gretzky should be on. I mean,
Gretzky should be on the $5 bill at least.
or make a $99 bill. That'd be good.
That would be good.
You got to get
Even if
Gretzky.
someone just did that parody wise, that'd be great.
Yeah, you got to get some. You got to get some like big people. Like everyone wants. Like I think Harriet Tubman was supposed to be on a $20 bill here. I don't know what the hell happened with that. And it's like, okay, yeah, but let's get Frank Sinatra on some money.
Yeah.
You know?
You got America has iconic figures, like
Yeah.
created
You don't
culture
want
moments, you
president.
know?
Right? Who gives a
Michael
shit?
Jackson, R.
That
Kelly,
could be a tough one. Michael Jackson would be a tough sell. I'll be honest. That's a tough one to throw on a $20 bill. But
put him on a nickel.
no one dislikes Frank Sinatra.
No,
No one
no,
dislikes Frank Sinatra. So
very true. Yeah,
you
Frank
could do
Sinatra
on
on the five.
Frank Sinatra. No, Frank. No. Frank doesn't go in five.
Frank, 5 francs.
No. Frank doesn't go in five. Frank goes on a 50 or higher. Okay.
50? All right, all
Respect
right. I
Frank that
guess.
way.
I
You gotta
guess.
respect, you gotta respect Frank that way. Frank does not. Frank, you can't be pulling up. Give me a Frank Sinatra. No.
Yeah,
Frank
yeah. And
Sinatra's
it's a
$100
five.
bill.
If it's a
The
five
scene.
spot.
Frank can do anything that wasn't, classy.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. What I know in Canada we were under like insane like fucking lockdown rules when it came to doing, comedy shows outside. There were comedians getting like fines from the government for trying to do comedy in a park. What was it like in New York City for you during that time?
It wasn't like 1984 like you guys had it.
Yeah.
So it's a little more serious. Um, it was New York was crazy. New York was like you had to get a vaccine. There was never like a banning of like comedy shows unless like you did it illegally. Put that way,
Mm,
you
like a
know?
big gathering in a fucking warehouse or some shit like that.
Yeah, yeah. There was never that or anything. You could do People were doing shows outside and they were annoying people. I hated them. It's like when it was like May of 2020, people were trying to do shows out. It's just like stop it. You're making me feel like a piece of shit. Take some time off.
Yeah.
Take some time together and not do anything in the world. God's given us a nice time of getting money and doing nothing. Let's work on ourselves. People are like, no, I want to do a show for squirrels. And it's just like, what are we doing here?
On the
Stop
back
it.
of a truck.
You're making me feel it. Then you had to like go do some shows, and they were horrible. They weren't good. People were doing comedy on the trains. And honestly, if I was doing if
I
I was
hate
one
when
of
people play their phones on the trains.
not even that, but like it wasn't like a comedy on a train would be funny, be like, oh, we're gonna do stand up on this train, everyone come to the train. They were literally ambushing people on trains in New York City where the tension was at the highest possible level it could be. And people are like, what's the deal with spoons? And it's like, what are we doing here? Stop. Wrong with people.
Stop ambushing the pores.
I know it was honestly, I no one got slashed, but I would if I was a judge, I'd be like, nah, they get off. They get one. You get free slash.
You get one. It's the pandemic. Everybody gets one slash.
You get one free slash. You can't do a comedy when people are like wearing masks and they're going to their jobs that they hate.
Yeah.
What are we doing here?
It's even in restaurants. I remember Kyle Lucy's comedian from Toronto was telling me that he was like went up at a restaurant, and the second that he got on stage and was like, "Hey, we're gonna be starting the comedy soon," some guy in the front row had just got a steak delivered to his table, and he had taken one bite. He dropped his fork and knife all dramatically, and he went, "Oh God." And it's like, yeah, true. Like, yeah, you didn't know there was gonna be a fucking comedy show. They just sprung this on you. Like, yeah, I wouldn't want to be here either, and I'm on the show.
By the way, food at a comedy club is the worst.
It's crazy.
Nothing makes you not laugh more than eating a calzone. It's like, what are we doing here? What are we doing? I can't. You can't laugh and eat. I did a show, what, maybe a month ago. The guy's in the front row eating like a burger and fries, and I'm like, well, I'm sorry, but I can't make a burger and fries. My jokes are not better than a burger and fries. These guys like sitting there, like, I'm like, this is great. This is good. I was pissed. I wasn't mad at him. I was just mad at the situation. What are we doing here? Stop having food. Popcorn is fine.
Yeah,
Pretzels,
yeah, yeah. Because they're quick bites, right? You just throw that back and it's
quick,
gone.
quick bites. Yeah, we can't be doing food at a comedy club.
Trying to hold together a shawarma.
Yeah, I heard the comedy mothership doesn't have food either, which is like, all right, Joe Rogan knows what the hell he's doing. Like, what do we? There's no food there, just drinks. Get some popcorn if anything. But
Yeah, I think legally they have to have like snacks of some kind if you're serving alcohol, because it's like, if someone's stomach's empty, they're gonna get fucked up way faster.
okay, that's fine.
So it makes sense that like you'd have some like pretzels or popcorn or something like small and snackable, but a fucking, someone ordering like a platter of chicken fingers and fries and they're
Yeah,
just
and
dunking it. Like, come on. And it's never great. I never heard like, oh, the food at the comedy club is amazing. Unless it's like attached to a
horrible.
restaurant.
It's hot. Food at a comedy club makes you want to shit your pants 10 minutes later.
Yeah,
It's horrible food. You
1000%.
have idiots cooking it back there. So yeah, it's the worst.
Now you said that you kind of started comedy because you were like, oh, I was funny in college. What were you taking in college?
I wasn't funny in college. I guess I was funny with my friends, I want to say.
Yeah, sure. But
Funny around people that I was comfortably funny around. Um, yeah, I was like loose with them. I was a finance and sports management major.
what made you want to take that?
I don't know. It was like my parents like sports management is good, right? You're like in the sports, and I'm like, yeah, I'm in the sports. I just want to go there and drink. And
Okay.
and finance, my brother was doing finance, so I was like, oh, I'll do finance. The guy that remember my one of my like professors was like, you can do a double major. It's good to do a double major. I was like, all right, fine, I'll do it. Do I have to work harder? And they're like, a little bit, but not much. And I was like, all right, I'll do it. So I have like more for some reason. I have more credits than normal. Like I could give people credits. I took, take too many classes or something like that. I don't know why. I had
How did
to,
that happen?
I had it was funny. I had more credits than normal, but I had to graduate 6 months later because one class I had to take that one they had to take this math. I'm terrible at math,
I'm the
and
worst.
yeah, so I had to like take this class in St. John's University and then get my diploma. But I did walk, so that was fun. I was hammered when I was walking. I remember that. I was so hungover.
Oh, like on the day of your graduation, you're saying?
Dude, we were partying all fucking week long, and I was hammered. And I remember waking up being like, I'm so hungover. And me and my buddy went down to the garage and we just chugged 2 glasses of beer. We had keg in the beer. We had keg there. We just
Yeah.
chugged the keg. And we're like, all right, a little hair of the dog. Let's go.
Is that supposed to just like keep the buzz going so that you don't
Can't
feel
be
the
like,
hangover?
yeah, exactly, exactly.
Okay, okay. See, what we
Yeah,
would do is take like heavy night of drinking before going to bed. You take 4 charcoal pills, and that's the shit they give you when you have alcohol poisoning. It's supposed to soak up the alcohol. So you'd
yeah.
pop like 4 charcoal pills, drink a bunch of water, wake up, and like nothing happened.
Did it work?
It worked. I don't know how, I don't know the science behind it, but it fucking worked. You shit black for a week, but I mean,
All right,
better better than having a migraine.
yeah, that's good. I don't drink anymore because I was too good, but
Yeah.
um, yeah, yeah, yeah. Those hangovers get brutal when you're in your 30s.
For
So
sure. I saw you also were a producer for You Know What, Dude, which
yeah.
I love that podcast. And then you worked with Lewis on Real Ass Podcast too. How did those opportunities come about, and what was kind of like your experience with that?
They were good experiences. I was like way out of my element. I shouldn't have been there. But I met a girl that was a producer and she was going away for a while, so I took over the role of producer, and then Bobby liked me and just kept me on for a while. Kept me on for doing that. And I would, get guests and stuff like that. It was fun. I met a lot of people that I should know was not and not I was too young to be meeting these people, put it that way.
Mm,
And so it was a good time though. And you meet a lot, you meet some people, and you have a good time, and you learn about podcasting, learn about the business side of it. Um, it's fun. I had a good
who's the
time.
person
Yeah.
you fangirled over the most?
Fangirled over the Sebastian Maniscalco.
Oh yeah, that would have been cool. I would have
Yeah,
just started doing his voice and like wouldn't have been able to
no,
stop.
I did a podcast with him, and I was just like, yo, this guy's so fucking funny. Like he was doing like his bits kind of, but like just speaking.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, this guy's so he knows how to like to be funny. He just knows how to be funny.
That's
And
amazing too, because he started as like everyone says that he was like terrible when he started, but he just worked
everyone's terrible. No
so
one
but like
there's
he like
yeah,
he worked so hard that now it's like the opposite. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like you wouldn't be able to think of him not being funny. You're like it seems like everything he does is funny.
Just knows like his funny
Yeah,
perfectly.
yeah. That's the thing. He knows what his voice is.
He was telling me about like eating a dinner, and he goes, I had these peppers. Like that. And I was just like, oh my God, this guy knows what he just this is him just speaking.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
The pepper, and I was like in heaven. I was like, this guy's hilarious.
I
It's
put
all
it in the oven. Then my wife says, do the laundry.
I hate people do a lot of his making like not making fun of it, do his it's like
It's just
hey,
fun to do his voice. It's just one of those voices. It's like everyone can do Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's like it's just fun to do the
Arnold's fun to
voice.
do.
Do you
Hello,
know
come
what I
on,
mean?
quick now, yes, come
Everyone
on.
has the
Now.
same impression. It's funny when you meet
I
someone who can't do an Arnold impression. You're like, what? How?
yeah. They're a little slow.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, that's true. Yeah. Come on. I don't really do I could do an Arnold. Sebastian's all tough. You gotta like just slow down with him. It's like it's a little easier to do it
it's
with.
it's one of those ones where you got to just do like you got to start with like the catchphrases, and it gets you into like, what are you doing?
You do a pretty good one. That's pretty good, yeah. Aren't you embarrassed?
Aren't you embarrassed? Like it's you got to start with like the catchphrases, and then you could pretty much say anything in the voice.
Yeah.
Like if I was doing like a Peter Griffin one too, I would be like, "Shut up, Meg," or try to do like his laugh, like
That's not bad. That's not bad. There you go.
try to find a way into it, and then you could just
Yeah.
talk from there.
Yeah.
How have your on the street interviews been going? Because I always find those kind of videos. I'm like, seems dicey. Like especially in New York, you're like, have you encountered just some people where you're like, I can't talk to this person, or do you just
No,
go
because
with it?
I usually do it after shows.
Okay.
Oh, like they kind of just saw me on stage or whatever.
Ah, all right.
And I'm so yeah, I do it at the show. So they saw me on stage. Listen, if I bomb, I'm not doing the interview.
Sure.
So get the hell out
Straight
of there.
home.
Straight home. And so I'm just like I did okay enough to do the interview. And I asked them, I go, hey, I keep it, I go, these are the questions kind of thing I'm gonna do. You're gonna get views. So like at first it was nothing. I had nothing. I had no views at all. And
Hmm.
like Long Island popped off for some reason. And they did well. And then I was just like, now they some get views, some don't get views. It's weird. It's a weird thing. Like I thought Boston was really gonna pop off, and it didn't at all. It was terrible.
Interesting.
And like Dallas popped off and Philadelphia popped off. Um, so it's just like a weird thing. But I tell them, I go, hey, you're gonna get if you have a job that you like or need, don't do this.
Don't do this. You give them a little heads up warning. Yeah.
Yeah, if you're like a teacher, don't do this. But if not, you do it.
Yeah. If you
And
part of a
some of
union.
yeah, Yeah. If you're cool with it, it's fine. I always tell them, I never want to make someone look bad. People have
Mm.
said some shit. I'm like, well, I can't put that in. And I gotta just, keep it moving. Let's just
I
say that way. Keep it moving.
You'll have to ask Ryan Long about this, but I heard him saying that he did like some streeter interview with a guy, and the guy was like weird. They had like a weird interaction or whatever, and Ryan was kind of like making fun of him. And then he had to install some shelves, and he hired someone to come in and install the shelves. And he was looking at the guy, kind of like, where do I know this guy from? And it was the guy from the streeter interview. I'm like, that's fucked. I would be like, oh shit, please don't
Well,
recognize me.
Ryan's a little like, Ryan goes out there. He does like
Ryan will
hard
go for it. Yeah.
like Ryan, yeah, Ryan, like I asked like what's the sluttiest fucking town? And
Yeah.
Ryan's just like, what do you think about abortion? It's like
Yeah.
he goes in and like
It'll be like
he's
to
trying
a
to do
cop
that.
also.
Yeah, he's trying to do that, and I get why people are like, I'll fight you right now.
Yeah, oh
But
yeah.
I hate him. He goes hard. Ryan's a good dude. I like Ryan a lot.
Yeah, he's another person that I did mics with in Toronto, like here and there. And even when he was in Toronto, he was like killing it. You know, he had a show with like CBC and was like headlining with Yuck Yucks and doing the Corner Comedy Club. It was cool to see like him, Danny, Chaderina, like all these guys going to New York and
Che
like,
just moved here not too long
yeah,
ago. Yeah, Danny's a good dude too.
yeah, Che's awesome and then Danny's great. What else was I gonna ask you? Oh yeah. For every episode, I always ask the guest if you could get on a phone call with a 15-year-old version of yourself, just to put yourself in that mindset, right? You're talking to a 15-year-old version of you. You're not going to impact their timeline or your timeline whatsoever, but you give them a piece of advice based on what you know now. What do you say?
I could be serious or I could be funny.
Yeah, either or, man. You could do both if you
The
want to.
funny part is you're gonna piss your pants and you're gonna piss the bed a lot when you get into your 20s. So let's work on not doing that. And there's gonna be a couple relationships you ruin because you pissed on them in the middle of the night. So let's not piss our beds when you're in Rome, Italy, and you pissed the girl's bed and then you ran out of the room because you were too embarrassed. And then the next thing she calls, you go, "Did you piss the bed?" I go, "No, not at all.
It's squirt.
No, not at all. I didn't do that at all." So let's work on that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's work on that. The serious part, I would say you got to have more confidence in yourself. You gotta believe in yourself a little more. Not everything is the worst thing in the world. Nothing matters when you're young. It's all bullshit. Um, and you're gonna get a dog when you're in your 30s. It's gonna be the best thing that ever happened to you.
I love that. Well, let's go back to the pissing beds in your 20s.
Why not? Why not bring it up a little more?
Hey, you brought it up, bro.
Let's bring up the piss. Can I just? I gotta get more coffee. Can I bring you with me? Like
Yeah, of course,
coffee?
of course. I
We're
can
still on the
edit.
moon. Don't worry about it.
I can edit for sure.
Oh yeah. So piss in the bed. Yeah. So when I don't for some reason it didn't start happening till my junior year, and it was pretty brutal. I had a girlfriend at the time, Angelina. She's a sweetheart. I love her still. She's a lesbian, so it's not the end of the world. So basically, by the way, getting when your exes are lesbians, it's kind of a
That's
lot
got to be the
easier.
best. That's way
Kind
easier.
of a lot easier than like, oh, well, I wasn't working with the parts she wanted, you know,
Exactly.
you know, and so that's a lot. Actually, is a lot easier to do. So I still see her. She's got a wife and a kid. She's great. And so yeah, I would piss the bed, and I'd piss her. I mean, all the time I'd piss her bed, and she would be like, what's going on?" I'm like, "I don't know." I just get drunk, and I would get too drunk and piss the bed. And then like once it started happening a couple of times, it was the floodgates opened.
Oh, your body was just like, this is just what we do.
Yeah, yeah. And then my roommates in college were such dickheads. They stole a caution for wet sign when from the school, and every time I pissed the bed, I had to take the sheets off and stuff, and they would put the caution wet sign on the bed. Well, I had to go like sleep in the basement somewhere or some shit like that. Yeah,
Uh, did you ever figure out what it was?
I have no idea. Being an
It
alcoholic.
just stopped one day. It stopped when
Uh,
you stopped drinking so much, or is it just
no, it stopped when I was in my mid 20s, I think.
okay?
Yeah,
Damn,
Uh,
man.
yeah, buddy, not great. And then I learned I wasn't the only one. A lot of people did it.
That's a beautiful thing about the internet, right? You could find your community no matter what's happening to you.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. So I didn't feel that bad, but then yeah, and then you fucking you're like, all right, maybe I had a problem. There were signs there as a kid. I was like, ah, maybe I had a little bit of an issue.
Because I was
So
thinking like, what's one of the signs of like diabetes is like you have to go to the bathroom frequently. That's like one of the side effects that like maybe you're diabetic or like pre-diabetic is you urinate frequently. But it wouldn't be a frequent thing. It was only if you drank a lot and then went to sleep.
well, it's just like you didn't know how much you didn't know when to stop.
Mm,
That was a problem. I never knew when to stop drinking alcohol. And then I would like couldn't have 2 beers and then go back and that's it.
mm. I'm lucky I have that kind of like I don't know, this like system where I stop after two and I don't crave anymore. But I've seen that in like friends before where they're like, yeah, I feel great. I feel buzzed. And then they just keep drinking. I'm like, why don't you just, they're like, oh no, I like it. Like I like being fucked up. Like, okay,
Being fucked
whatever,
up is awesome. It's the
whatever,
best.
man. That's all good, man. I like being
Being
like
is the most
stoned. Like I could
being
probably smoke weed.
I can't smoke weed. I
Yeah,
can't
see, I
smoke
could
weed.
smoke people under, I could smoke Snoop Dogg under the table.
Yeah. So
That's my
yeah,
thing.
if you're a weed guy, I'm not a weed guy at all. I hate getting in my head. I don't want to live in my head anymore, and I have to live in my head. And I took edibles not too long ago. I was like, oh, this is why I hated this. I was in my head. I was like, oh, I hate this. This is the worst thing in the world for me.
Edibles are the thing I'm jealous of because it's like so many people take those and they're on the ceiling, and I every time I take an edible, it's I never affects me, no matter what the milligram dosage. I've taken like insane amounts, and just I'm like I feel the same. And then someone told me there's like some people that have just this like genetic condition where it doesn't affect you for whatever reason.
What's it called? Being a superhero?
I guess. It's
Right.
not a superhero though. I want to like experience like what does this feel like? You know what I mean? Like because it's different than smoking a joint. It gets processed differently, right?
I don't know. I'm not really big into edibles.
Yeah, like I didn't think about the science. I'm studying
Whatever
the
you
science
nerds
of
get
weed.
into, honestly, nerds really ruined weed. They really did. You
Yeah.
ruined weed. You made it like, oh, this is gonna make you feel all like drowsy, and this is gonna make you up and happy. It's just like let's just buy it out of a parking lot with some weird dude in the back of a pickup truck.
Yeah, I kind of miss that. I miss like
Best
the
time.
legal weed in Canada kind of ruined weed because
It's
they're
ruining weed everywhere. It's
they're making
corporations now.
yeah, and they're making it like weed crack. Like it's like 38% THC. You're like, I don't need 38% THC. I don't even need to know what the percentage is. Just
Yeah,
tell me if it's sativa or indica. That's as far as it used to go, right?
yeah.
Even then the guy was like guessing, he'd like smell it. He's like, I think this one's indica. It's like,
I was in Chicago, I went to this dispensary, and I was just like, the guy's like, this is gonna get you a little high. It's not gonna make you last long, but it's gonna be really good. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna be nice. And I was like, well, I don't want to be in my head. And I got it. And they gave it to me, and I was still in my head. So I don't know what the hell was going on.
yeah, it's just some people's bodies react differently, I
Yeah,
guess.
yeah,
People are like, "Oh yeah, you should try the right strain." I'm like, "No, it doesn't matter what strain. Like, if your body and your brain doesn't like receive weed well, or whether it's like the way you think about it or the way you think while you're high, it doesn't matter what the strain is."
the best strain I like was cocaine. That was a good strain. Cocaine's good.
Strains of cocaine.
That was a good strain, cocaine. Loved it. Big fan of that one.
What was the first time you did coke?
I was like, I don't know, 20, 22 years old, 21 years old, something like that. Then my
Because that's
brother.
got to be like a here it is.
Yeah, it was a come to life moment. I was like, oh, this is fucking dope. This is great stuff. And
And then
yeah,
it kind of goes downhill a bit from there, and then you're like
oh,
doing it
still,
off a dick or
no, I never got that bad, but it's still the best drug in the world. It's still the best. I love that, but I'll never do it. I'll never touch it again in my life. But it's still a good
coke in
time,
the 80s must have been something different.
dude.
Like now it's like
All right,
fentanyl.
there's nothing better in the history of the world than being a '70s actor with cocaine. There's
No
not
social media, clean
you
cut cocaine.
like clean. Like who's back in the '80s? Who was big? Like Robin Williams did a lot of blow back in the day. They said, and go to parties where they just have like they just dump it on table. It's back in the day. Oh, not there's nothing better. Being in the
Like
70s.
Drew Barrymore even was talking about being like 13 years old in a club and she's like smoking weed and like trying heroin and shit.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, she definitely had issues. And but she's a fun time probably.
Probably
I'm
a
sure
great time.
I'm sure there's a lot of actors like Drew's fucking dope, dude. I love Drew. I know she's 12, but let's hang out
Yeah.
more
She's
often.
fucking sick.
Yeah, I know, but she's a fun time. She don't give a shit. And
Yeah, we're such pussies now.
I know.
It's
Now
crazy,
they'll like
dude.
vine you or the vine you. They'll like Instagram. Yeah, but I'm telling you, being an actor, the best life might be Jack Nicholson.
Mm.
That guy went from New York, living in New York, was an actor here, and then he moved to LA. And he got famous.
Courtside Lakers games every day.
He got famous in like the like not famous, but he started to get roles like the '60s and then the '70s popped, and he was the man. He was a good-looking guy. Dated every hot woman he dated. He had all right. This guy had a private tunnel from his house to the Playboy Mansion, which was like
No,
500 yards away or something like that. Yes, I swear to God. He had a private tunnel. Hef built him a private tunnel to the Playboy Mansion.
that's insane.
Dude,
Imagine being so famous that Hugh Hefner's like, I will build you a tunnel.
it wasn't. I don't think it was. I don't think it was the block fame. Honestly, I just think it was an easier access road than going probably
No,
around.
no, but I mean, like, you wouldn't do that for just a regular person. He's doing it because it's
Oh,
Jack Nicholson and he
because they
wants Jack Nicholson hanging out at his mansion, you know?
probably both have like parties and stuff like that. So they were like, all right, well, let's just, let's just have with Jack. When you party, you come to me. I'll go to you. Blah blah blah. Be fun. Be a good time. Yeah, let's do that. Yeah. I mean, this guy lived the life, and everyone loves him. I haven't met one person that's like Jack's a douchebag. Everyone loves
Yeah.
him.
You never even really saw shit about him on those like trash magazines that are by like the checkout.
No,
I've
he's
I've
the
never even seen like a one of those things like being like Jack Nicholson at it again.
Yeah, no, he's the best. Everyone loved him. He was a good time, probably never upset. I heard stories about him. Like he wasn't an abuser of cocaine. He didn't like have to do 37 lines in a night. He would do
Uh,
like one, go talk to everybody, come back a couple hours later, do another, go talk to everybody. He wasn't like a guy that was an abuser of it. That's probably what helped him out a lot.
Probably, yeah. He didn't cause issues for a lot of people. Or if
Yeah,
he did, he kept it to himself, like a gentleman.
lived a good life. Lived a good life.
Yeah,
That man's
yeah,
still living life and crushing
yeah.
it.
What was getting off that like? Or
I
is
was
it
done.
still
No,
sporadically used?
no, I don't. I don't. I haven't
Okay,
done
okay,
drugs in
good.
almost 4 years. Um,
I thought you said
I
40 years. I was like, how old are you?
I'm 97 years
I
old. I
was
moisturize.
62.
I was way above the white people in moisturizing. I was
Yeah,
before.
yeah,
I talked to a lot of black people in the 60s.
yeah.
And no, it was 4 years. January 1st be 4 years. Um, so I just was done. Is a point you hit in life where you're just like, I'm done. I can't do it.
Hmm. I feel
And
like you got to hit that level with anything that you're trying to quit. Like even like when I quit cigarettes, it was like I'm done. Like I can't. Like it wasn't even like I'm gonna try to quit. It was like I can't. I just this sucks. Coughing up
yeah,
black
it
shit and
sucks.
like
It's just like you're done.
stinks.
I remember being at my buddy's wedding, and I was high on blow at a wedding, and everyone was. So I wasn't like I was the only one. Everyone, but I was overweight. I had to get a new suit because my other suit didn't fit. And I was like, this, I don't want to do this anymore.
Yeah.
Like I'm gonna stop for a month, and then once a month that gave 2 months, and after a while I was like, and once the pandemic hit, it was right before the pandemic.
Oh
I,
wow.
everyone was like, oh, everyone's gonna relapse, and it's gonna be a bad time. And in my head, I was like, I'm not gonna relapse. I'm actually not gonna relapse. Everyone's gonna make an excuse to relapse. That's not gonna be me. I lost like 40 pounds. I worked out constantly. I was getting paid by the government to work out. Basically, I felt like the Terminator.
That's great.
I felt like phenomenal. I was like, this.
$6 million man.
It was 4 hours a day in the sun. I was shredded. I was tan. I was having a good time out there. I want another pandemic to bring that back.
Yeah, right. We all need a little break again.
I
Come on,
know.
COVID, run it back.
Yeah, but yeah, that was, and I was like, you reach a point. people like ask me sometimes like, how do you know? How do you stop? Some people can't stop. It's tough.
Hmm.
It's like I just don't want to look back 30 years from now and be like, I wish I could quit booze or whatever.
Yeah, yeah, right. Like when your liver fails, you're like, damn, I wish I had just stopped when I was thinking about stopping.
Yeah, yeah. Or I don't know, something bad's gonna happen and I'll relapse tomorrow. I don't know. One of the two. Yeah, yeah.
Somebody might start doing stand up on the train.
Yeah, yeah.
You gotta fucking
If I see stand up on the train, I'm gonna go right. I'll be
going
joking
full
about.
relapse.
You remember when like Russia first invaded Ukraine? Everyone's like, World War III is gonna happen. A nuke's coming. I was like, in my head, I was like, well, if I get a notice a nuke is coming, I'm going to the nearest bar, hands down. I go, no shot. I go out of this fucking world
Oh
so
yeah.
bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
We're going to New York first. I live right across the river. I'm getting out. I'm out. I'm out. Once that bomb hits, I got about 3 seconds before it really reaches me. So
Might as
I'm
well
going
go
out
with the
with
bang.
Jack Daniels. I'm going to Jack Daniels in my hand. And if I can find a guy with a little bit of cocaine, I will. But if I can't, I'll set it for the Jack. I'm going out with a bang.
Yeah, yeah. I'm stepping out on my balcony and lighting a cigarette.
Yeah, but that's the only way I'll that's probably the only way I'll probably ever relapse again.
Yeah, yeah. If it's something catastrophic that's happening.
So I have days where like it's a bad day and I'm like, Putin, send the nuke over. Let's go. Give me a reason to do this.
You're like, make these pigs fly. Come
Yeah, let's
on,
have a
dude.
good time out there.
um, I'm gonna share your social media stuff for people that are watching on YouTube. It's at Chris Scopo on Instagram, at Chris Scopo on X or formerly Twitter,
What are we?
and
Hey, we're not ex people, okay? We're Twitter people.
at Chris
Okay?
Scopo on
Back in
TikTok.
my day, I was a Twitter man.
Fuck Twitter, man. Twitter was FBI fucking infiltrated. It's got to be X now, the everything app.
Well, you an Elon Musker?
No, not necessarily. I'm more of a what's the word? An accelerationist.
What
I'm
the hell
kind
is
of
that?
just like let's let's push this tech. Like everyone's scared of AI. I'm like let's keep it going.
What are you talking about?
People
It's
are
gonna
fucking
it's gonna-
terrified of AI. They think it's going to take over the world. I'm like
it
push it
is.
faster. Go.
Oh,
Just get it over with so
what's
that
wrong
Chris can get to
with
the
you?
bar and drink.
The only I tell you right now, 30 years from now, we're gonna look at the Terminator like it was a documentary.
Oh yeah, 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 for
Exactly what's
sure.
gonna happen. It's gonna take us over. People were like pushing AI, like, stop doing this.
I'm like go faster. I love it.
Oh,
I just want to
no,
see
I
what the fuck happens.
slow down AI. I don't want to do that. I don't.
But
Once
Elon's actually he's part of the group that's saying slow it down. I think he even formed a
down,
committee that's like trying to get it to stop accelerating so much.
because Elon is an alien and he's seeing what happened to his planet, and he's like, I gotta go and stop this.
Yeah.
I I truly believe Elon's an alien. That guy's an alien. He ain't
Yeah.
real.
He's got to be like one of those like from Men in Black where like his face opens up and it's just like a little dude in his head that's like operating a system,
Yeah, yeah,
you
he's not
know?
a person. I remember him
There's no
being on.
way.
I remember him being on Rogan the first time, and then Rogan asked him a question, and then he stopped for like 10 seconds, and I was like, oh, he's
Yeah.
dumbing it down. Like
He's
he had
thinking about how do I phrase
explained this
this.
to the normals.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. There's an
Civilians.
interview that he did. It's on YouTube. I can't remember who it was, but they're like walking through Tesla or one of his fucking factories, and the interviewer like asks him a question, like, like how long does it take to build one of these rockets? And I swear to God, like a minute and a half go by, and he hasn't said anything. He hasn't even acknowledged the question's been asked. He wasn't like, "Good question. Let me think about that." He just silent, keeps walking, and then he turns around and goes, "Oh, a very long time," and then just keeps going. Like
Yeah,
he
that guy's
was
not human. That's not a human response. What are we doing here? That guy's a
crazy.
robot. He's a robot or he's an alien. He's not a real person.
Yeah, yeah. I want that to unfold from all of this is that he was an alien or a robot this whole time. Like Bill Gates and Jeff Bezos created him.
No, they didn't create. See, they probably did create him, and his AI, they're turning against him. Their
Mhm.
AI, he doesn't like those guys. He's turning against them, and that's what's happening.
That's the start of the movie.
Yeah, terrible.
All right, man. I'm gonna let you go, but thanks so much for making the time, like I said before, to sit down and do this. Is there any dates that you want to plug? I don't know how many people live in New York that
Uh,
watch this show, but
December 8th, I'm at the Brokerage Comedy Club in Long Island, and then that's what I got for the rest of the year right now. So, I mean, I'm in New York shows, but
Yeah. So if you're in New York, look up Chris and try to find one of his shows, or at least watch his videos.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Give me a follow.
Yeah, of course. All right. Later, man. Have a great
Buddy,
rest of your day.
see you later. Take care.
Peace. You've been listening to The Johnny Rogers Show. New episodes air every Friday at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.